Hi, welcome to Planetary Calendars, Astro Forecasts for the week of July 26th through August 1st. I'm Ralph Dimitrius, one of the astrologers. The week starts off kind of easily. The moon's in Pisces on the Monday, the 26th. Uranus is making a nice aspect from Taurus. What Venus is in Virgo, it's making a opposition to the moon that day. There's nothing on the line. But it is a day in which maybe you should bring your lunch to work, okay? Because there's like a strange configuration going on here where it might go to some place you normally have not had lunch and get something that doesn't necessarily agree with you. On the other hand, it could turn out really well, but 27th, Mercury changes sign. And whenever Mercury or the inner planets change sign, there's little bumps in the road. It's like a little bit of turbulence, and it enters Leo at 6:11 p.m. Now, coincidentally, the moon goes void of course in Pisces at 6:12 p.m. So that later part of the day is going to be a little funny, make your dinner plans early, just because of that. When Mercury changes into Leo, it's going from Cancer, which is all about let me take care of you, let me feed you, and now it goes into Mercury and Leo, which says listen to me. Watch me, let me listen to me talk for a while. Let me talk about me. Can I tell you an interesting story about me? That's Mercury in Leo. And it's a little annoying sometimes because Mercury, that's not Mercury's strong suit. It's not what it really does well. It's about being glib and it's about being reflective and saying, see, you're just like me. It's good at that. But being the center of attention, it's not its strongest area. But we're gonna deal with it. On the Wednesday, another ingress, but this time, the 28th, Jupiter retrogrades into Aquarius. Now, we've had this little vacation when Jupiter moved into one of its rulership signs, this feminine rulership sign of Pisces. We had this little vacation of just a few months of getting a break from Jupiter in Aquarius, which is saying everything's going to change all the time and there's disruption and there's crazy, which went on for the previous year. And now it's backed up into that area. So we're going to see some crazy, head lift up and go, hey, remember us? Because now Jupiter and Saturn are both in Aquarius. So, that transit that we had, which was so transformative, we're going to get some echoes from that. And that's going to go on for, a few months until Jupiter finally gets back into its rulership sign, its lovely Piscean feminine rulership sign. It's a big thing. Whenever Jupiter changes sign, you feel it. Jupiter is one of those visible planets. You feel when Jupiter changes sign. It's a big shift. Now, just to keep it thoroughly entertaining, on the Thursday, now, admittedly, I will have to mention that on the day when Jupiter retrogrades, all the other aspects are nice. It's lovely. The moon is trine the sun. Mercury and Saturn are both making nice aspects to the moon. It's a nice day. It's just that Jupiter retrograding, so it's kind of saying, don't feel too bad, but we should talk. Just thinking. And we watch the big outer planets a lot because we use it in our long-term forecasting, and Jupiter and Saturn have been used for hundreds, probably thousands of years, their respective cycle for big economic cycles. And they're very powerful that way. So when they change sign or retrograde or something, we pay attention. On the Thursday, as if this week hasn't been entertaining enough, Mars changes sign. Mars enters Virgo at 1:32 p.m. We've marked that with the black box day. It's funny, we use the letters. And the 27th was G, the 28th was H, and the 29th is I. So when you see the letters happening, it's a busy week, okay? Mars now enters Virgo. It is a very organized position. It's a position about, where you can feel perfectly justified organizing all your closets and all your socks, alphabetically, by color. You can feel good about that. There's nothing wrong with it, okay? Mars is opposing Jupiter because Mars is now it's a real short-term transit because, Mars is moving into Virgo while Jupiter is moving out of Pisces, the opposition. So they're like two ships passing in the night. It's kind of a funny little aspect. It's going to be quick, but you might notice that. Mars is very physical. Jupiter is also very physical. They're both very physical planets. So I would be real careful that day to not overdo things. I would be careful where you walk. I'd be careful driving on that day, because there's going to be some disruption going on with these 3 days. All three of these planets, Mercury, Jupiter, and Mars, have a lot to do with movement, a lot to do with transportation. Don't be at all surprised if in the news you see some big weird stuff happening with trains or something happening, of motion or close calls or things like that. Hopefully close calls and not accidents. On the 29th, it's also the Delta Aquarids meteor shower. So enjoy that. Go out at night. Finally, by the time we get to the 30th, Friday, things have finally calmed down. No one's going to be changing sign or direction or anything. Finally. Gracias a Dios. Mars and Jupiter are both making nice aspects to the moon. The moon has a short void, of course, 12:37 p.m. to 1:07 p.m. In Aries, which it's good that it's in Aries, because Aries doesn't do void, of course, real well. But it goes into Taurus, very nice position, wonderful position for a Friday because it's a Venus position. And both Mars and Jupiter are making nice aspects. Pluto's making what is it making? Let's see. It was actually squaring the moon early in the day, but so late in the day that aspect's passed. And so it makes a real nice Friday, which is good because after the week that everyone's going to have, they're going to need a nice Friday. The Saturday is also pleasant. The sun is square moon, and the planets are split. You got Venus and Uranus making nice aspects to the moon, including a conjunction from the Uranus to the moon. And you got Mercury and Saturn making rougher aspects. So it's going to be a mixed day. It's going to be a bit of a mixed out with the sun square moon. Plan on something productive. Plan on accomplishing something. Don't plan that this is just a relaxation day. Have some type of project where you can accomplish something. Because if you do not, you're going to be like sitting on the beach thinking about work all day. Okay? You won't be able to help yourself. You feel like you want to accomplish something. Okay? On the Sunday, which we have a letter there for. Why do we have a letter there for? Oh my God, something because of all those aspects, probably. On the Sunday, the 1st of August, there's tons of aspects. You got Neptune and Pluto both making aspects to that Taurus moon, but the moon's not changing sign. You got a sun parallel moon. You got the sun conjunct Mercury. Okay, this is called combust. It's when the two kind of unify in the energies. You've got Mercury opposing Saturn, and you got the sun opposing Saturn. The Mercury opposing Saturn is not such a big thing. The sun opposing Saturn is a big thing. Saturn's a big planet. Typically, when the sun and Saturn oppose, it actually slows things down. They actually find that like crystals grow slower during these aspects. So you might find yourself coming to a little bit of a standstill. You might have a hard time kind of getting things forward. But on the other hand, after all these aspects we just had, the Mercury, the Jupiter, and the Mars changing sign and doing things, it may feel like we've come to a little bit of a standstill. So it might be a good day to take that Sunday and just stand still for a little bit. Take it easy. Stay home. Garden a little bit. The moon's in Taurus. Make a really nice lunch, right? And a good dinner. So that's the week. It is another very entertaining one. Lots of stuff going on. It's funny, July has had some wild stuff. I have to see what happens in August. So come see us on Tuesdays when we do our astro portraits. They're very educational. We've been doing a whole series on actresses who do action parts, which is very cool. And we're going to do some things on athletes because the Olympics are going on. Come see us on Fridays when we do our portraits. Remember, he said, she said, Lonnie, we'll do the alternating one. And of course, you can find those at YouTube at Planetary Calendar. And of course, visit planetarycalendar.com to get your calendars for 2022 because you'll want to know what's going on. Until next time, be well.